Soda pop, pop, pop. Only bomb. Only bomb.
Thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. What so where are you from, man? I was trying to figure that out.
Where am I from?
Yeah, where are you from?
I was born in Houston.
Yeah, so Houston.
Houston, Texas.
Yeah, originally. Like straight up?
Yeah. I probably moved out of there first grade.
Oh,
But I
okay.
was there in Houston.
Oh, so you didn't do any comedy in Houston at all, huh?
Oh, no. I've only done comedy in Austin. I started in Austin, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I saw that thing that you did at the Comedy Cellar. And was that in New York?
Oh, that was New York, yeah.
Yeah?
At the Cellar. Did a little interview out there.
Oh, that's nice. How'd you do that? How'd you get on that?
It was about the banning from Creek, Sunset, Cap City. I got banned.
You got banned?
Yeah, you don't know about that?
No. No.
Yeah, that's what the interview was about, pretty much. Like what the situation was, what the joke was, and what the banning was all about. So I just went over there and talked to him about that.
Oh, okay. Man, that's crazy. You're like the second comic that I've had on here who's been banned from something.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been a couple of years now.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I want to say like 2 years now since the ban. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's on your YouTube, right? So people can go and watch that on your YouTube.
The interview, it's not on my YouTube. I think it's on theirs, but it's on my Linktree and IG or whatever. You can get to it, but it's their Comedy Sellers podcast.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so they have it up there. It was good though. It was good to talk about what the situation was because, they just kind of did it without any kind of communication.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wasn't able to talk to anybody. They just kind of made the decree, and then I was like, what the fuck? So it's good to kind of talk to somebody about it. And they were all on my side.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also went on KillTony and I talked about it.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of something about that when I was looking into your KillTony and stuff, and I thought it was pretty good because you walked away with like a big joke book and everything.
Yeah, it was good. I definitely not as polished as I wanted to be, but it's all right. It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing comedy altogether?
Not long, like 3 years.
3 years?
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I never did anything before this. Always wanted to, but I never did it.
Yeah. Who were some kind of like inspirations for you to start up?
Oh, start up? Oh, I don't know, but just like lifelong inspirations, like Bill Cosby as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy on SNL, we're watching him. Just grew up with the regular guys. I do like some weirdos too,
Like who?
Like who? Maria Bamford, she's pretty big.
Oh, she's great.
But like back in the day, she was not so big. Who else? What's that guy? I can't remember that guy's name. I also like Andy Kindler. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't think I know who that is.
Okay, that's a good comic. So it's like a little bit just maybe he does more one-liners and stuff like that.
Oh man, I love good one-liner comedians.
Yeah,
I feel like everybody's kind of going towards the whole like, no, I'm a story comedian thing, and so it's good to see some one-liners.
Yeah, they're good. I think they have its place. It's hard to watch one-liners in a long thing, unless some of the really good guys, they kind of weave them into stuff. So it's part of like a narrative.
Yeah.
But there's one-liners, What's it called? Andy Huggins, you know him?
No, I don't know Andy Huggins.
It's like an old dude. He's like 80-some. But he's getting really big, I think, in the last year because he does one-liners. Yeah,
nice.
but they're all different, so they're not connected. So you just have one-liner set up for a new one, and it's just that, which is awesome. Like, I like that. But for a long, half an hour to an hour, that's going to be maybe a little bit rough.
Yeah. I can kind of see what you mean. Like, why do you think it's so rough? Is it just like if there's no direction that's so rough, or is it just like the fact that they're one-liners?
I think if you're just presenting the one-liners, then it's tough. But if you're doing what like Rickles and all these old school guys did, which was blend the one-liners into all these other things.
Yeah.
Like they're doing improv basically, or crowd work, and then they're bringing in the one-liners.
Yeah. Almost like tags, I guess. You know? Is what kind of comedian would you say you are? Are you kind of more of a story kind of comedian, or?
I don't know. I'm just starting out, so I'm just kind of like trying stuff right now.
Trying to find your voice.
Yeah, I do like writing one-liners. I do the show where we do one-liners, Late Night with Phill. And then I've got stories too about growing up, different stuff growing up, and like going to boarding school in India. And
oh, wow. You went to boarding school in India?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's cool. What part of India?
South India.
So, okay, I know boarding school like really kind of sucks. So, pardon me. Like, the only reason I'm saying it's cool is because I went to Chennai.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought India was cool as a country, but I wasn't saying you're going to boarding school was cool just to be cool.
No, that's cool. Yeah, it's in the region of Chennai. It's down there.
Oh, okay.
Basically on the coast. So I went to a Catholic boarding school over there. Yeah. And so I've got like a whole thing about that. I do, when I moved to McAllen, I joined the Crips.
No shit.
Yeah, in McAllen, Texas, in like middle school. So I have a whole like storyline about that with one-liners kind of like spread out.
Really? Man, that's pretty, that seems like really interesting, to go from like boarding school in India to being in the Crips in McAllen.
Yeah. You got to get jumped in.
No way.
Or they call it clicking in.
So like they beat the shit out of you and really? Can you fight back in those things?
No, you can't fight back.
You can't fight back?
No, it's like 6 to 8 guys. I don't even remember, but it was a bunch of dudes. They're just kind of wailing on you. You can't do the balls, right?
What's that?
They can't hit the balls.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you see, they can hit everywhere except the balls.
Oh, wow.
What are those? I'll tell you. They're testicles, and they can't be bothered, but you can hit everywhere else. And I think it was like, it's for an extended amount of time, like minutes. Yeah.
And so there's no, like, I mean, I don't know why there would be, but from my own inexperience of this, is that there's no like, all right, and 8 minutes go, like kind of thing.
There is a stop, like, okay, time's up. Like, that's it. It's more like a flurry.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a flurry. So you just kind of, you know what's crazy?
What is that?
Okay, so when I got done getting clicked in, I was wearing a white t-shirt because that's, we used to wear undershirts. You remember that?
Yeah.
White undershirts under your shirt. So, you take your shirt off, you get a white undershirt. And so at the end of the click in, my shirt was just full of like blood.
Whoa.
And it was like kind of blood that looked like little scrapes. Do you know what I mean? Like little like marker dashes.
Yeah, like kind of like like almost like thrown at you or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so what it was the knuckles that were scraping because they were going like this.
So they're just wailing on you.
Yeah. So when the knuckles are like scraping against your shirt or whatever, it's leaving the blood trail. And so that's what it was. It wasn't even me.
Wow.
There was no blood on me. I was fine.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Man, were you scared?
No, I think I was just more like kind of.
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I think I would have been scared. I think I would have been like, oh, dude, I don't know.
I think I was just up for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if this is like too personal, but like if, like, why did you even get into it? You don't have to talk about that if you don't want to.
Oh, the gang?
Yeah. Why did you even go in there to begin with?
Oh, I think I was just like pissed off, we're moving around every couple of years and like, I don't have a place. I'm looking for some sort of a community, I think, looking back, and just wanted to belong, you know? So that was a fucking idea.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah, I mean, shit, man, that's crazy. I wonder what the like comedian, like, I wonder what that would be like analogous to being a comedian. I guess it would be these open mics.
Yeah, you get clicked in every open mic.
Yeah,
get him.
Yeah,
get him, fool.
Where was like the first place that you performed when you came to Austin?
Oh, first place was at the Creek in the Cave.
Yeah. What'd you think? How did it go?
Oh, it was awesome just because they have a really late night mic. So you could go over there and there's not that many people from when I remember. That was like a few years back. But their mics are like at 12 o'clock or whatever, right? So, it's less stress to go up with a very, dark, limited room with a few people.
Yeah.
Versus like a big room. But I actually went to Cap City and I watched their Tuesday night open mic. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go try it. And then I looked up Creek in the Cave. And then I just went over there and then just started hitting mics. The good thing is at that time, which is not too long ago, but it feels like there's a lot of changes really quickly. Because so many people are moving and moving out, and it's like a cycles of people and things changing. Mothership open, all that. But we were able to do I would say 5 mics in a night.
Yeah,
pretty comfortably, almost every night except Saturday or Friday, maybe. Yeah,
I was actually just talking about that because back in 23, there was that Rapolo's mic that I remember. That was one of the only mics that was available on Friday.
Yeah.
And so I used to love going to that one.
Yeah, and I think they had a couple, right, where it'd be going for a while. I think it was a first part of it and the second part or whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that. There was Shakespeare's.
Yeah.
Sanjak Saloon. I used to run that mic on Sunday nights.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met a bunch of people from Sanjak. That Sanjak mic. That was that was also back in 23, early 24.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been going for a while. I think 6 years or more. Maybe 6 years, but they just stopped doing it maybe, I don't know, 6 months ago.
I didn't even know they stopped.
Yeah, they stopped doing it. But it was good. It was good mic. Nick Roche and Alden Schaub started it. And then Alden kept doing it. And then I started doing it.
Oh, nice. Did you like hosting?
Yeah. Hosting's fun.
Yeah.
It was good. It's good practice. And a lot of times you go in there, it's just a bunch of comics. You don't want to do it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But once you start, it's just a time where you're there to support each other and hang out. So if you kind of just, have a good time, then it's fun,
Yeah, it used to feel a lot better because they had those nice couches and stuff like that. So you just go and you sit down and you're sitting with a bunch of comedians. And the reason why I loved it so much is because it seemed like a lot more people, even comedians, a lot more people laughed. They were just looser. And I felt like maybe the couches were a part of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was very low stakes. So people would try stuff. A lot of other established comedians would drop in and they would just try shit out. You know what I mean? Because it's not high risk. You don't have, but there were people coming through too. Here and there, you would get audience members and $3 Lone Stars, $3 Wells.
Yeah.
Pretty cheap.
Yeah. I remember going there and just grabbing a beer or whatever and then just letting them know, whoever's hosting. And, they were like, all right, cool. We'll give you another minute or something. And I was like, oh, it's a good deal.
Extra minute.
Can't
beat that.
No. It was a good little mic.
Yeah. So I don't know how it is now. I'm not doing too many of those. I do some sign up mics where you just go and you do your time. You don't have to sign up there. But have you been to, are you going on mics in town right now?
Not lately. Just because mostly this, know, and, I kind of have the excuse of I want to write more. And then I just did, a show this mustache show or something like that. And that was
it's Shakespeare's.
a Shakespeare's, yeah. And that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
You know? But lately I really haven't really been hitting the scene because I've just been focusing heavily on this, you know.
Okay.
But I have noticed that it changed, you know.
Yeah, it seems like it's less because I keep up with the Austin, Texas comedy page, and it does seem like it's less mics, but yeah, it was really nice to be able to do that for a good long amount of time, like a year and a half hitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could hit so many mics in like one day.
Mm-hmm.
You just go everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't even know what's going on with it right now. I don't know why it's not, you know, but it just seems like you could see like on the page, you just flip forever. And then now it's like, there's not really that many. Now it's like 3 or 4.
A lot of the guys, one guy was running like 5 mics.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That guy's not running any mics anymore. But yeah, things change. There's going to be new ones.
Yeah. It's fluid, you know.
But it was nice to start, I'd say about a year before Mothership popped up. Because it was a little more chill before Mothership popped up.
Oh, okay.
Just a little quieter, you know, just a little more. Because you got the same people you kind of see. And then, you know, when that opened, now it's like just a cycle of different people all the time. So you don't get to kind of see the same people, you know, regularly like some other scenes, you know. It's more like a transient scene, not a transsexual scene.
Well, it kind of is.
Yes. Ask Alexa. It is a transsexual scene for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it is. You do see that because there's comedians that started, or I guess seem to have started around the time when I started here, and then I don't see them at all anymore.
Yeah, a lot of people moved.
Yeah.
I think one of the big comics I first saw here that I was like really impressed with, just made me laugh out loud, was Casey Rocket. And he moved to Chicago, but he was a super nice guy. Very, very funny.
I never met him. I did a show with Christina Mariani, and that was like a long time ago. I think she would just started working, or like I know she was at the Mothership, but yeah, now she's like everywhere. It's crazy.
She's big.
You know, I was like, man, that's so awesome to seeing people like that. You know?
A lot of people from here have popped up, so it's pretty, there's a reason people are coming, because people are getting opportunities and getting bigger from opportunities here, so yeah. On this subject, whenever I've talked about it before, the biggest person that we talk about is Cam Patterson. You know, how he just, you know, went from literally just the mics that we do to freaking SNL. And that's just crazy to think that's happened, you know? It's wild, you know, but he was good, you know? So what's your approach to joke writing? Oh, I'll just get different concepts, almost like premises, I guess. And then I'll just write those premises down and save them. And then when I sit down, I'll go over them, you know, and I'll start writing them out a little more, or thinking about them. Sometimes I'll just go on stage with the premise at an open mic. And
just see what happens, kind of deal?
Yeah. Sometimes I've done that at a show, and that's probably a bad idea, because I'm not there yet, for sure.
Yeah. Is your prep like different when you do that, or do you just literally just go like, all right, I'm just gonna go try this out, just this thought out?
Well, I'll give you an example. I wrote this one on the way over here. Nobody understands the Epstein files better than drug dealers, because they have to use a lot of code words too. Right?
Oh, okay.
And so that's a premise. And then, so I might take that to stage first and just play with it.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to kind of free thought it and just kind of talk about what I think about the similarities and the differences between drug dealers, how they communicate and the Epstein people communicate. I don't know. But that's one way. The other way is I'll sit down and write stuff about it, take it up. But I think the first couple of years I was very written, and I'm starting to get less away from the written text.
Why do you think that is?
Just because I think I'm trying to perform now versus recite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's really interesting, actually. Yeah, because a lot of people do that. Sometimes I find myself doing that, where I'll sit there and I know that I'm just simply reciting my joke and I'm not performing my joke.
Yeah. And I think that's good practice to like start with getting the jokes out there. But I've also been doing improv.
You see, I was about to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask you about that because, just the idea of just going out there with like one small, like little thing. And then I was like, man, it kind of sounds like improv right there.
Dude, there's a part of improv that's scarier than going up to do stand-up.
Oh, wow.
And I'll tell you what it is. There's a bunch of different types of improv. Like improv's improv, but then there's a bunch of different schools and structures of how they might do a show, right? And one of these structures called the Herald, right? You start the show with a word, right? So you'll ask the audience, give us a word, and then somebody will say a word. And from that one word, people will go out randomly from the troupe. They're just standing there. There's like, let's say 8 people. And 3 or 4 people have to go up and tell a story based on that word that gives them an idea of a story. And that's making up an entire story from memory, because it has to be real. That's the only rule, that it has to be a real story. And it has to be, it doesn't have to be funny. It just has to be something truthful, because a lot of the skits or sketches that you do after that will be, or scenes, I mean, will be based on that monologue.
Oh, wow.
So that's scary as fuck, because if you say something, give me a word.
Llama.
Okay, llama. So I have to think about something that reminds me of a llama, right? And then I have to immediately start telling a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end, improvised. And that was pretty scary at first.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is it the whole cast is telling the story too, or is it like you guys taking turns telling the story?
Oh, so like, for example, this one that I recently was part of, 4 people went up and they told a different story. All 4 of them told a different story, different perspective about what that meant to them. It could be completely unrelated to a llama.
Wow.
It could be something that just is circularly related. Like when I was 5, I went to the zoo with my aunt, right?
Yeah.
And we were at the zoo, and then
yeah.
And so it's like, let's say a minute.
Yeah. Wow. Man, that's crazy. So you kind of you started doing improv here in Austin.
Yeah.
Oh, is there like an improv like troupe out here? I didn't even know that.
So Fallout does improv. Hideout Theater, which is closing now, does improv.
Wow.
I've been doing improv at Cold Town. They do the UCB program.
Oh, okay.
Which is Upright Citizens Brigade.
No way. I used to love that when I was younger on Comedy Central.
Oh, yeah. They've got a bunch of stuff online. Really great stuff. Like even all their performances are up there. Like East Coast.
Really?
West Coast.
Man, well, that's really cool. That's really cool. No wonder you like switch gears and sort of was like, all right, I'm just going to go check out and try this premise, because you don't know, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Is there something that seems almost liberating in just letting go like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I don't want to say I don't care, but if you don't put too much importance on the open mic, that's where you get to really like practice. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the best place to, try out this thing. Some people are completely against this. They'd be like, no, you got to write your shit the way this blah, blah, blah with the punchline. And some people are against that. So it just depends on what works for you. Or you could even, even trying in a combination of those things. Nothing's like static. It's not the same thing every time. You know, it's like trying this way one time, another way this time, maybe coming back to this way of doing it.
Oh, hell
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you find that, you know, hey, this is actually working for me? Like this could be a part of the process kind of deal, or is it still kind of experimental?
Yeah, I think it all works.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it all works.
Hell yeah.
Writing down the ideas works. Going out and doing stream of thought works, both on stage and off stage on a notebook. Both of those things works. Also writing out a regimented joke works.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it all works.
I try to do the writing on a regimented joke, you know, and then I kind of have a background in drama, so it kind of like comes out to where it's hard because I feel like I'm directing myself, and I didn't realize that that stand up was going to be this challenging, you know, when I first got into it, you know, because it's still challenging. You know, it's such a demanding art because it's you bringing out the best of you with no one to help you, you know. And so I think that's really cool. I commend you on that, the improv thing. That's really neat, you know. Sometimes I've tried to do that, but I found that I'm like, fuck, I'm blabbering. It's not going anywhere, you know. So, but you have it in your head from your training that you have a beginning, middle, and end, huh?
Maybe. I might not. Sometimes my time's up. Goodbye, you know.
Yeah.
But who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah.
Right. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you bring this improv kind of style to your talk show?
A little bit. That's one of those things where we're still trying to find our footing, you know? It's very much written out, and I have a teleprompter and I read it.
Oh, that's not bad though.
Yeah. But I do like the idea of being less specific and just more flowing with it. You know what I mean? More conversational. Because I think that's better for an audience, because that old style, you're kind of what I'm doing is kind of making fun of that style a little bit.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But I think only a niche amount of people are going to get that and think that's even funny. And then the rest of folks might be getting caught up with the delivery because it is so old school and like lame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's kind of what drew me to your stuff to begin with. I was just flipping through the shorts and you popped up, and I was looking, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? I'm like, this is so cool. It's like, you know, and I see Late Night with Phill, and then you had what's his name, Nighthawk?
Yeah, we just dropped the full episode of that on YouTube right now. So that's
sweet.
out. Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering about that because I think when I saw it, I was like, all I saw was clips.
I think we're basically doing things in reverse. We're doing short clips for the first, like 6 months we've been doing this, and now we're just starting to do full episodes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. No, the first thing that caught me is, one, it looked great.
Yeah.
That was like one of the first things that caught me. And then two, it was just like, I was like, man, this is really awesome to see that somebody is bringing something different to the table.
Thank you.
Yeah. Where'd you just think, I'm going to do this? You know, like, I'm going to do a talk show.
It's an old concept, right? And then the knockoffs are old concepts too. Like the public access version of this, people have already done. So I just wanted to, I hadn't seen anybody doing it now or in recent years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The last one I remember is Tom Green, which is a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like early 2000s.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So, I mean, we're not doing that show, definitely, but we're just, I'm just talking about the talk show or the late night kind of format. So I was just thinking about how nobody's really doing that right now. Maybe we could do it, but then we'll have to also figure out how to make it ours. And we're kind of doing that slowly. You know, that's a process. You can't be scared to put shit out or make shit. So just do all of it, which is what I'm doing, you know, and what everybody should be doing, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It when starting this, like, it seemed like in many ways, like, I still, make a lot of mistakes, but it's a science. It's just it's constant, just figuring out and being like, okay, I can't do this again, can't do, I'm try this, and stuff. But what it kind of reminded me of, which is really cool, is like, because I saw you had one with a wig, and then another one you were wearing a hat, and then you had this Nighthawk character on there.
Fedora is coming soon.
I can't wait to see it, man. But it kind of reminded me of some like old school, like what do you call it? Cartoon Swim.
Yeah.
I was like, because the another thing that I kind of liked about it was that I was like, you don't have like a goofy laugh track or anything. It's like the jokes just kind of sit for you to decide.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love it. I was like, I like the feel of this show.
That's great. Yeah. I was debating on whether to put a laugh track or not, and it just fucks it up.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And then we had a bunch of clips where we'd end it where it was just me looking at the camera for seconds, right? Where, just like, looking at the camera, and we kind of started moving away from that to adding in, some sort of like movie related content. I'm really into movies, so like we'll cut to something, ridiculous from a film that's maybe related or to what we're talking about.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because you're really into movies, huh?
Yeah, I like movies.
Yeah. I just told Chen, like literally on the last episode, but I just saw Training Day for the first time. And
For the first time?
For the first time, like last week, and it blew me away.
Okay.
But yeah, man, that sounds really cool. I can't wait to see like the evolution of your show.
Yeah, it's so new. It's so new. Like we're just starting it, really, in my eyes. So we're just kind of figuring it out, and we might have some big sponsorship coming up very soon.
Oh, good for you. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, if that happens, that'll be great. We can take care of everybody, because right now everybody's volunteering and they're awesome. But it takes a lot of people to run a television studio.
Yeah, because you're doing it PBS.
Yeah, we do it public access,
which is another approach that's insane.
Pretty old school.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I was like, man, that's fantastic. Because at first I was like, oh, you're just in the studio, just doing your thing. And then, I forgot which one who you're talking to, but when you said PBS, I was like, no way. That is so cool. That's so different.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you, man.
That's really neat, And like, so how did you even get to that? Like, how did that come to fruition?
Man, how did that come to fruition? Oh, well, I think I just wrote the jokes, booked some time, and I went in there and set everything up myself, and I shot it.
Really?
And I watched it back, and I was like, okay, cool. We can keep doing this.
Did they have like I guess what is there like a studio or something that they have, and they lend you like the cameras or something, or how does that work?
It's basically a studio where they have multiple studios, and each studio has a control room. So it's like a full-on dashboard. It's a separate room to run the studio room, right?
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, so you can't really do it by yourself. You can, which I just said I did. You can do it, but you can't do anything more technical, because everything's in that room, from the audio to the camera switchers, to the recorder.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So
you need somebody to run it.
Yeah, you need at least one or two people in there. And I've got an awesome co-producer on it, Union Brooks. He's really been super helpful. And then Kenny Buttons. These are not big names, but they're big in soul and spirit.
I mean, that's what it takes.
Shout out to my boys, Sam Noorani.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they're also writers too, so...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got like a little team going.
We do have a little team going.
Man, that's awesome. And then, it seems like the guests that you had, I know you had Nighthawk, and I saw...
Nighthawk blew up.
Dude, that Yeah, that was incredibly interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I loved? People didn't know if it was satire or not. They thought it was real, which made it even funnier.
That's you see, that's kind of my thing was I didn't know, like, I was like, is this dude like legitimately like this? Like, and
retarded.
I mean, I'm not saying, but I don't know. I was just like, he kind of reminds me of those like anime, like kind of like nerds, I guess, or something like that. And I just didn't know if that was a character that he was playing or if he was actually, I mean, if it's a character, I was like, he's doing pretty fucking good.
No, it's amazing. Doug Baldwin, he went to China. He spent about 10 years cultivating that character in China, in the Fallujah district.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I saw some videos of him where he's wearing like normal aviators, but those little fucking glasses set it off, dude. Yeah. Set it off.
Yeah.
I was like, man, it's just very interesting.
He's so good. He's so good at that character.
Yes.
He only broke, I think, once or twice in that whole taping.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I would have had such a hard time. I would just been fucking laughing the whole time. Especially if I knew him, like the actual person.
Yeah.
And then they just but it was great. It was so funny and so interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of a challenge, like coming in to interview a character. I did him, and then I had to interview a real person. But the person's like a character, like they're such a big personality, they're a character, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But this was an actual like comical character versus a real person, and it's like two different animals,
It's two different like approaches to that.
Yeah, because I think with the improv, you're the character, you're trying to improv it and make it like, be
like
serious.
Fit the scene, something like that.
Be serious about it, maybe. Versus like the interview, you're just trying to have a good conversation, have a good time, but not really try to get it's less comedic, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing about that, about being like less comedic, is almost like you can be less comedic and still be funny, just by just letting it go, and that's kind of what it felt like. It kind of felt like the interview was like almost serious, but it was still fucking hilarious because it just seemed like you both were just on point.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to play a clip like right around here so people could see because I was like, it's definitely what intrigued me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was telling myself, I was like, man, I want to reach out to you. I was like, because I'd love to talk to you about that because I love when comedians do things differently. I love when they take a different approach to comedy, and it's really awesome seeing people do that kind of thing.
I was going to show you the intro here to this.
From public access in Austin, Texas, where every band has been about to blow up since 2009.
Oh, that's
it's
great.
It's Late Night with Phill. Tonight's guest, Nighthawk Wolf.
Nighthawk Wolf.
With musical guest.
We're purposely saying his name because I had a hard time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nighthawk Wolf. Yeah, in and out.
Yeah. So we got an intro. We're moving up.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're going to be getting like a band, like a jazz band in there and everything.
Dude, we were thinking about doing a band, but I'll tell you what. Right now, we're just focusing on what we're doing. But in the future, we want to do a live studio audience and have the monologue, and then in the same studio, in a different area, have the stage for the interview.
Oh, yeah.
And then have the band out there too. So do it like a real, where the studio's massive, the big studio. We're in a smaller studio, but there's a big studio where you could put a band, monologue space, and then interview space as well. All three, same place, 50 people in there. It's going to be great.
That would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything like that in Austin.
No.
And that's so that to me is like there's like an appeal there. I would love to see something like that. Shit, I would love to be an audience member and something like that.
That would be cool.
You know, you come out, you do your monologue, you know, like after the curtains open up and all that shit. And then, you know, the band sends you behind the desk and all that, you know, that's like, man, I'd still watch late night clips and stuff. And you know, you just have like your favorite kind of like comedians on and actors and things.
I think it'll bring, also having a live audience will bring a little more, just that, what I was saying earlier, kind of having less of a, you know, you're saying material out there versus that being more connected with, you know, actual people there and then delivering it kind of more in a, you know, conversational way.
Yeah.
So that would change it, I think.
Yeah. That would be really cool, man. I hope that that's something that really comes about because,
hell yeah.
You know, that's like nobody's doing that.
No. We're working on it. I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, please do. That's a phenomenal idea, man. That's a phenomenal idea. What are certain things like that you look for in your guests or the prospecting guests? Like,
I'm just looking for variety. I'm looking for variety, unique kind of backgrounds, experiences. Like we've only had a handful, so we're not really, you know. We just did a bunch of monologue stuff for a while and then just started doing the interviews. But we did you see Tony Pepperoni's?
I did. Okay. About like, you know, how he's responsible for 9/11.
Yeah.
What am I doing this for?
See, that was a trippy interview. We were just,
yeah, dude, that was pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah. So like, we just, I guess at first I was like, I just want to do characters. But then quickly it ran out of characters. There aren't many characters here. We got Tony and then Nighthawk. Actually, I was talking to Doug one night and I was like, hey, do you have that character I saw like a year ago? You know, because he used to do this character. And so that's when it started with the interviews. I was like, hey, do you want to come do it? And he was like, yeah, I'll do it. So he's kind of brushing off this character. So it was awesome.
Oh, man.
But if I can get more just kind of interesting folks, you know?
Yeah. What's the most challenging part of this whole thing that you found?
Most challenging part of it? It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the studio production, and then there's all the post-production. Then there's all the social media and distribution posting stuff and all that. So it's a lot of work.
It's just many elements kind of deal.
Yeah.
I can only imagine because what you're saying, it's like the same thing that kind of goes into this podcast. It's like the easiest portion is right now. You know what I mean? Like the you know, it's awesome just sitting down, conversing with different people about, you know, just the thing that they love to do. And that's like the easiest part.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, it's like, it's a whole other fucking thing.
Yeah.
That nobody has any idea about unless you do it. You know, so people like you who like, you know, go and you do this and you see, it's like, this is fucking crazy.
I mean, luckily, like I said, we have some volunteer folks that are helping out on the team. There's folks editing, there's folks, you know, helping with the producing there in studio. So that helps a lot. You know, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have like somebody that, or any kind of awesome comedian or whomever that you're really wanting to get on your show?
We've got Jason Vest coming on next week. Do you know who that is?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So Jason does a bunch of like interesting stuff online, like porn related and industry related, like that stuff. So
yeah, he doesn't hold back.
Yeah. So he's kind of a character in a way that his personality is a character. He's kind of a, you know, interesting, unique guy. So he's coming on. We're going to talk to him and just find out more about his background and, you know, the porn industry and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
Also Epstein. I always talk about Epstein for all the interviews. I just had Yoshi Obayashi on. Do you know who that is?
I don't know who that is.
Okay, some folks will know who he is, but he has been to all the Epstein places, like a lot of them.
No shit.
Yeah, and he went to a bunch of trials, like the Ghislaine Maxwell trial.
He went to that?
He was at the actual trial. In France, you know that lady Petticoat? Her husband was basically drugging her and having her raped by a bunch of people.
Oh, yeah. I think I know
he went to that
about,
trial.
No shit.
Yeah. So he's like kind of all over the place. So he was on, and we talked about a little bit about Epstein and stuff like that. That was fun.
Yeah. Is it just like kind of like the trial and how, I don't know. It's so weird and shrouded by conspiracy theory.
Dude, there's so much going on.
There's so much, man.
Here, I'll show you. That's what he looks like.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I saw a little thing of that. I honestly didn't realize what you guys were talking about.
Oh,
yeah.
He's just basically talking about the government right here.
Yeah.
In general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, that whole Epstein thing, man. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even know how to keep up with it. I just know it's horrific. You know.
Yeah, it's bad. And the stuff that's in there that's so crazy, it's I guess it's hard for people in the mainstream to even talk about. I don't think nobody's ever talking about that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Man, I watched just part of that Netflix, the documentary, The Filthy Rich.
Yeah.
I watched just like part of it, and I was just, dude, honestly, I was just horrified, man.
Yeah.
I was just horrified. I was like, I can't believe that, I can't believe that something like this would happen.
Dude, they were killing people. They were sacrificing babies. They were doing all sorts of shit, either getting adrenochrome, other things that they could harvest, control fear, all sorts of stuff. He had a plant. He has a plant, or had a plant, on the island called Devil's Breath.
A plant?
Yes. And so this plant is very well known to basically cause the user to become in like a zombie-like state.
Jesus, man.
So he had that plant. There are emails where he's asking to check on his plants. You know what I'm saying? And this plant is known to be, a drug to get people to be basically like docile and,
Oh, it's fucking sickening, dude.
Yeah. And then sulfuric acid. He had a bunch of sulfuric acid shipped to the island. I think sometime before he got pinched. And so sulfuric acid is used to decompose bodies. So like Mossad and shit uses that.
Jesus.
And then the cartel started using that because they learned it from,
Yeah.
That's the Walter White shit. You put it in a barrel, and it disintegrates everything, the bones and all that.
That's what I was just thinking. I was thinking that, and I was thinking, I think it was a line in Sicario or something like that where they said, like, who do you think we learned it from? Yeah. And I was just like, oh, fuck, that hit
the Americans and the Israelis.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy. When I was, I was working in Houston and I was a firefighter, that's when you kind of like see like really like how dark that shit kind of gets, and there was one time like we put out a fire and we had to go through this other building that was like next to it. And it was like this just unmarked sex club. It was just fucking crazy. And I was like, what the hell is this place? And they were like, yeah, this is a bad place.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, it was fucking crazy. But that was like really the first time I ever seen anything like that, like firsthand. And it was just like, just the thought that, just those things exist.
Were you in the military?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a buddy of mine who was in Iraq and he tells me some fucked up shit. Just in passing. Like they were checking all the vaginas for cell phones.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Yeah. It's a dark fucking world, man. But that's partially the reason why, like, I love comedy so much. It's just kind of like, when I was younger, I used to, watch a ton of goofy comedians, like Robin Williams, Live on Broadway, Pablo Francisco.
Yep.
Like, cause it was just like, man, I just sit there and think, I'm like, man, they just don't give a shit about nothing. I was wrong, but but
serious problem.
It's serious problem. Yeah,
I think that's a real challenge too. Like because I keep up with all the news shit, you know what I mean, and geopolitical stuff and historical shit. So I'm really like interested in all that, and I think there's a heaviness to all that and a seriousness to it, and yeah, like a buddy of mine says, a spoonful of sugar with the fucked up shit is what works. You can't just give them the fucked up stuff.
Right.
You got to put a little coating on it, right?
Yeah, it's like a manipulation tactic,
Yeah.
It's like they can't tell you like exactly what's fucked up. They got to feed you the good stuff before they tell you it's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. I really stopped looking at the news because of it, because it's just fucking scrolling and all this shit that's just going on. And man, I was like,
if I'm getting it, I'm getting American news from Russia, China, everywhere that's not America. That's where I get American news, because they'll tell the truth about another country. They're not going to tell the truth about their own country. So Russia Today is going to give you propaganda about Russia, but they'll probably tell you some real stuff about what's happening in America. That's my view on it. I think like an outside party is going to report better on what's happening. Because even China Today, you watch China news. They'll fucking say shit Americans are not saying at all.
You don't think that's mostly tailored though for like, their people as propaganda?
No, because you can cross-reference the shit. You can see who's telling what about what and what their kind of intention is. If it's something that, maybe they have something to do with it, like a school shooting, what I'm saying? They're going to report that shit in more accuracy with more information for me than any American outlet. They're not going to tell me shit.
Interesting. Yeah, and I never really, like I said, I don't really watch like the news. I don't really, it's like one of those like sort of like, I don't even know who the hell to even trust, like you're saying, I remember back in the day, I would, if I did, when I was working in radio, like I would look up like Reuters and things like that.
Yeah.
Just kind of like non-commercialized.
AP.
Yeah, exactly. Like AP and, just things like that where it wasn't very like focused politically, because that's another thing. I'm like, you don't know what you're getting because they're trying to appease to a certain audience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's this other site, I forget what it's called, but they break down every story by all the outlets that are, left to right, and they'll kind of rank them by who's reporting on it. So you can see, if it's left-leaning, it'll show all the left. If it's right-leaning, it'll show all the right-leaning stuff. So you can kind of see who's covering it and how much.
Yeah. I think I saw a graph like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know the name of the graph, but it was like, it was kind of like that. It was like a net or something like that. And it showed, like which ones are actually like the neutral guys, but yeah, since then I kind of just fucking still stayed away from it. Because I'm like, I don't understand it. And it's like, I don't get it. It's too much to keep up with.
There's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with. And I think that's the point, because people are working and living their lives. So it's hard to get into all this stuff. And also even what, the information's coming quick and it's a lot. So it's also meant to kind of be a distraction in a way itself.
I didn't think that was a thing until the Epstein shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's when I started thinking, I'm like, oh my God, this is like a thing.
These are all old tactics, though. Like, these are all tactics from, like, World War I, World War II.
Yeah.
Like, all the propaganda tactics that they're using. And it's kind of surprising, because I grew up with Bush and Bush Sr. and Bush Jr. and the wars and all the kind of the false flag stuff and the pretext for going into those places.
Right.
And so now it's interesting to see they're not even fucking with that right now. They don't even care about giving us a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're like, we've done this so many times, just put up with it.
They're just like, and I just, we're just doing this now.
Because they made up like 5 different reasons why they did it afterwards, right?
Right. And you just don't know what to fucking believe.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh my God. It makes you feel kind of weird. It's a weird time, I think. How do you feel about like the way that America is right now?
I think it's just stuff that's surfacing that is always there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, because we have internet now that we didn't have back in the 90s.
Yeah. And it's just like, what is the nature of man and what is the nature of humanity? And it's always been pretty fucked up.
Yeah. It has, and you don't really realize it until like it's put out there for you to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people didn't, there's an idea of America being something, and some people didn't, they don't want to see that part of it. Or that it could be corrupt, because it's easier to look at other places and say, oh, they were fucking corrupt because they take money at the driver's license place, right? So that's a type of corruption, but this is a different type of corruption.
Sure.
And it's also, you don't really have any recourse.
Right.
Like, what are you going to do?
Right. What are you going to do?
Yeah. So that's kind of what you learn, and you move forward. You move forward,
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Like, where do we go from here? How do we change it?
Let me ask you this, just changing gears real quick.
Sure. Yeah.
So what kind of comedy do you do? As far as like, what ratings would you give it in?
A rating?
Yeah. Like dark shit, you do light shit?
I do fairly light stuff.
Light stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not exactly a clean comedian because I curse.
Yeah.
But I do like kind of things like really just about myself and personal stuff at this time.
Okay.
I would say that I'm also still trying to find my voice as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just personal, like things about yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just like.
But you're older too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm born in the 80s. So yeah, I'm kind of older, and I got like, my life experience.
82, baby.
85.
85.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people that are younger, I noticed, because I spend a lot of time with people, that, they're in their 20s or whatever, doing comedy or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
Or early 30s or whatever. But a lot of them are maybe not telling or talking about real stuff that's happening to them or has happened to them. Yeah. And I think older folks that come into it are more interested in that aspect of actually mining their own experience and their own, because they want an outlet for those experiences, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too. It's like, because it's kind of, it feels like a little bit of, let me tell my story, and it's partially the whole reason why I even started the podcast was on a similar thing. I was like, because I wanted to give people a platform so they can tell their story.
Yeah.
And I just like hearing about people, and so it's kind of, it is kind of interesting to see like, the different dynamics between like the older comedians and then the younger ones, especially like the joke telling and the, the way that they, like what they decide to joke about. I feel like the younger comedians, it's a lot of cum. It's a lot of like sex, and shit like that, which is great because it can be funny, of course. But but older comedians, it seems like it's stories.
Yeah, or personal
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of go between both. I have like what people think are more messed up stuff, I guess. I don't think that way about it. But there's stuff that would be more cancelable or messed up. But then it goes all the way to like rated G. Like I could do like kids jokes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like a wide range. So that's also something I'm dealing with, where it's like, or coming to the realization that maybe there's a place for those type of ranges in different places and times.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm finding.
Learning to read the room, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit. Like if it's a later show, maybe I could pull out, a few things that I like that I think are good, that are still personal and still interesting. But I think to maybe other people, it might be, fucked up or not appropriate or whatever.
Just whatever you're passionate about, I guess.
Yeah.
So where do you think like the future of Austin comedy is headed?
The future of Austin comedy?
Yeah, like basically like with, what we're talking about, I guess. Like what do you think it's going to be like in, like in a few years? Like you think that it's going to be more story comedians, or you think
I don't know, because I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm kind of on the outside. Not really in the mix of like what's happening.
I feel that.
I do pop in for, whatever, Mothership or KillTony or something like this. I'll come in, but the rest of the time I'm kind of like doing my own thing.
Yeah.
So
I feel that.
Yeah, but it does feel like, it feels like it is a little bit less of a demand maybe for the shows and things like it was. I could be wrong. I don't know. But it feels like it's less, a little less of the kind of hype that was there maybe a year ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like with the hype, like lessening, like you're talking about, because I noticed that too. I feel like with the hype kind of lessening, I feel like that's when the real comedians are going to really start to shine, is because they're the ones that are going to kind of come out and persevere and like really like push through that because this is what they really want to do, and I've seen, just like I said, I've seen it to where like other comedians, they just, I think it was like they get up there and they're thinking like, yeah, man, I'm going to do some stand-up. Stand-up's going to be great, and then they realize how hard it is. And that you can't just get up there and just because your friends think you're funny, you can just be funny, So I kind of feel like it's probably like the beginning of a good time, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's always positive. I don't think it's gonna be dead.
Yeah.
But it's definitely still not like other places. So you got to get out and go, and that's the coolest thing, to go to, I don't know, Dallas or Florida or someplace and do other stuff in different cities, because then you can really like get a pulse of what different crowds are into. Even out here in weird little cities in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's all these little cities all over the place that are out in the boondocks, like an hour out, 2 hours out. It's a very different climate. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe can't call Trump a pedophile in Belton, Texas. Maybe you learn that lesson,
Right, yeah.
Or maybe you got to double down next time you're in Belton, Texas.
Just see what happens,
Trump being a pedophile. But yeah, I think it's good to get out too, instead of just being in the city. But there's so many people, like I said, that are from out of town. They're just coming here and they'll do stuff and they'll go to their other cities that they're going to travel to or whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their different journeys that they're on. But the people that have been here for years, they're here, and I think people are still working in the background that you're not seeing up front, and they're just doing things, and people will surface at different times.
Yeah, they'll come out,
and a lot of people have gotten opportunities that are doing well in different places or whatever, and that's huge too. Like people like a Lucas McCrary or somebody like this, where they were on KillTony at one time and doing very well now, with shows and their own produced shows, stuff like that. So, but there's so many cycles. People have died, in the last few years too. People have died. So, I'd like to get the fuck out of here and see what other scenes are like. I did go to New York a little bit, a couple trips, and it was cool, but it just seems like, my God, what an immense amount of work to just get to things and do things in New York. It's crazy.
I can only imagine. I've never been out there.
Yeah.
Like I've visited the city, but I've never, actually like gone and checked out the comedy out there.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to.
The open mics are just as equal or sad as other open mics. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I also want to get out to LA to see what's happening out there. But that's an important part, I think, of this journey when you're starting out to be able to get to a place where you're like, okay, let me see other stuff out here.
Yeah, just learning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, dude. It was a nice conversation, dude.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah, we had a great time, man. Is there anything you want to put out to anybody or anything?
Late Night with Phill. Catch it in all the places.
Yeah, definitely catch it. That is, it's really good, man. But yeah, I'll give all your plugs and everything. But thanks again, dude. I really appreciate you coming out, dude.
Thank you.
Hell yeah, man.
Appreciate you.
And that's it. That's a wrap.
All right. Nice.